this is my Flosstube channel about cross stitch. This is a bonus episode where I am sharing all of my finishes from 2022. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Some of these, if you've watched my channel before, you've likely seen, but some of them I know that you haven't because I haven't shown them, so there will be some fun ones on here. So another note on these is that all of these finishes I started and finished this year. None of them were whips from before, so that is something interesting that I realized as well when I was going through these. My very first one is called Deco Spirits by Mirabilia. This was my New Year, New Start for 2022. This is just on a 28 count Monoco. There is a lot of Kreinik in this one. No beads, however, though. It's one of the few mirrors that don't have beads. And so you can see there's earth and fire. And if we go up here, air and water. It's beautiful, beautiful. I love this one so much. It was a little bit, it wasn't hard to do because you can see that there's just tons of, just blocks of color, but there was a lot of black and a lot of white. But usually what I did is I would do a strand of white and then a strand of black and then a strand of the color or the metallic from the Kreinik. But anyways, it's just so pretty. I love, love, love it. I love the purples and the greens. So, Deco Spirits by Mirabilia. All right, next finish. This is, oh, now I don't remember. I think this is Day Nymph by Mirabilia. This is beautiful. This is on a sugar maple fabrics, who was a Canadian dyer years and years ago and is no longer dyeing fabrics, which is so sad. Her fabrics, incredible. You can see the modeling on this one. It's showing up pretty true. It's beautiful. And so lots and lots of beads. And I believe it's this is a 28 count. Okay, now before I tell you any more about this, I want to show you this next finish because it is her sister Night Nymph. Here is Night Nymph, again by Mirabilia. Beautiful with all of those beads. This is one of the few mirrors that uses these bigger beads. Not a ton of mirrors use them. There are a few, and she's got a treasure right there. You can see, but see all those big beads right there. Okay, so now, and this fabric is, I believe it's called Choco-latte by Fiberlicious. And this is a 32 count. Now, let me show you these two together. So, it's gonna be tricky to hold them both up. Okay, now, look at them. And you can see the size difference between a 32 count, because this is 32 count, and this is a 28 count. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to hold them up very well. All right, anyways, this one is quite a bit smaller. They're both so pretty though. They turned out gorgeous. The interesting thing about these patterns is that they called for Valdani floss. And I had not used Valdani floss before this point, so I ordered what it called for and worked with it. And it was okay to work with, except for this dark black brown, and it is called Black Nut. And if any of you watch Kitschy Whips, Maggie from Kitschy Whips, she's been working on these and she has talked about her black nut shredding. I had the exact same experience. It was so hard to work with because it was like it was bleached in areas and then dyed the brown, because you can see there's black and then the brown. And it would just disintegrate. So it's like the bleach ate through the fibers. That's just my thought. I don't know if that's really what happened. I did not want to do a stripy effect, so I kind of just worked the colors. Let me kind of show you. Okay, so you can kind of see how there's some brown here. So there's a little bit darker and it lightens up, and then there's the black. So I just kind of went around with a strand and worked it, and then as it tapered out on the black, then I would change direction and start into the brown. And then when I picked up my next strand, if it was brown, then I'd start in the brown, and when I saw that it was changing to black, then I'd move black back over to the black so that I didn't get that stripy effect. I really love how it turned out. You can see it just makes her wings so interesting. So this is the night nymph. Let me show you the day nymph. And I didn't do quite the same thing. You can see that this is a little more stripy. You can see right here on those wings. So anyways, so day nymph and night nymph by Mirabilia. All right, next one, another Mirabilia, and this is Botanical Garden. This is a 28 count even weave. The color is Lane's Drums, and this is dyed by Fangirl Fibers. This one was beautiful, just so fun to stitch. There was a lot of confetti stitching up here in her headdress, which makes sense. And so, you know, when there's confetti stitching, seems like it's inevitable that you always miss like one stitch here and one stitch here of the color, so you have to go back in and do that single stitch. But the rest of it wasn't too bad. This wasn't too bad down here. Her face is incredible. Now, I usually do a lot of my Mira faces and skin over one. This one I didn't because of how detailed it was, and I think it still turned out beautiful. Okay, so Botanical Garden by Mirabilia. Okay, next one. This is, I think I've shown this one before. I think from here on out, you've probably seen them all, so I'll just go through them really quick. This is Pretty Little Italy by Satsuma Street. It just has some of the major landmarks of Italy. The colors are so fun. Satsuma Street's color usage is just amazing, isn't it? Oh, I love it. And so I finished that one. This is just a, I believe it's a 32 count Lugana, just plain white Lugana. All right, this one, this is definitely my biggest project. This is the Fab 50 Stitch Along by AbbieSue Designs. This was in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. They put out 50 statues in their 4 theme parks to commemorate that anniversary. And so each of these characters are in recognition of one of the statues that was displayed in the parks. This is huge. This is on a fat half of fabric. Let's see if I can step back. I mean, there you can kind of see the whole thing. It's huge though. So let me get close up so you can see, and I will roll it. This is a 32 Opalescent Lugana that I dyed myself just with some Rit dye. The border I changed just to use a gold Kreinik. I changed the borders. They were blue, and I changed them to this purple to match my fabric better. The characters are stitched pretty much as charted. It's all DMC, with the exception of this little lizard guy right here. His name's Bruni. He's from the Frozen movies, the second Frozen movie. And he was really big as charted next to Olaf, so I just stitched him over one, so it shrank him down to that cute little size right there. So again, these are all statues that are displayed in one of the 4 parks at the Walt Disney World Resort. Okay, and you can see it says 1971 to 2021. So I believe that this chart, it wasn't available, it was a stitch along, and so we would get bi-weekly releases. And then it wasn't available for a while. I believe it is now available on her website, AbbieSue Designs. All right, my next one is this Home for the Holidays. This is Holiday Home Berries by Erica Michaels. There were 2 berries, this one, and then there was a cute little gingerbread house. As you can see, I cut it. If you might remember, I stitched that other one and sewed it into a strawberry and gave it as a gift for the Smalls Exchange when I went to Stitch West. So, but this one is just so cute too. So I need to cut that and get it FFO'd. These are so fun to do. I'm really liking strawberries. They're just a quick, easy finish. They're so cute when they're done. The one thing I don't like about strawberries, and maybe I need to figure this out, is that when you get them sewn, you only see, because it's in like a cone shape, right? It's a strawberry. And so you only see like part of the design. You don't see the whole thing, and the whole thing's so cute. So you could absolutely frame this, but really so fun to stitch, so fast, so cute. Okay, my next one is from RJ's Stitchy Spot, which is an Etsy store. And this is called Magical Tiki Room, I believe. And this is representative of the Enchanted Tiki Room that is at both Disneyland and Disney World. This is on a PTP Jade, and I believe it's a 32 count. So I love these flowers. Let's see, can you see? And the birds and this fountain. This just has all the things that remind me of the Tiki Room, and it makes me happy. The Tiki Room is one of my favorite attractions at the Disney parks. So this made me so happy to stitch, and it was so fun because like each little bird was like a mini finish and each flower was a mini finish. So I love that one. Okay, next one is Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I love Rosewood Manor. This is on a 28 count PTP doubloon with the called for Valdani threads. Now, strangely enough, I didn't have any problem with these Valdani threads. I don't know if it's the colors or this was a 3-strand and the others were a 6-strand, and this was the balls because I just bought the little kit that it calls for, and the other was more of a skein. I don't know what the difference was, but this is so beautiful. All of these fall motif Quakers, all these leaves. Just so pretty. And again, each of the little motifs was like a little finish. And there's an E for Emmy. She has all the initials, she has the whole alphabet, so you can put your initial in there. Beautiful. Autumn Quaker. All right, this next one is Hungarian Folk Art number 3 by Glendon Place. This was my Stitch West start, and I finished it not too long after. This was a super quick stitch because it's just big blocks of color. This is on a 32 count white opalescent, and there are beads. This was stitched with sulky threads. And this is just so pretty. I love it. I actually just added another one of these because there's Hungarian Folk Art. This is number 3, so there's a 1 and a 2, and I just added number 1 to my collection. So that might make an appearance here in 2023. All right. Next is, oh, I don't remember what this one is called. Wonderful Time. Anyways, this was a little mystery stitch along by Tiny Modernist that was an exclusive for the Jingle Ball, put on by Lindy Stitches. So it came out in 3 parts, and that is the finished. It's just so fun. This was such a fun, easy stitch, and I love it. I love that wonderful. It's 2 colors of green, but it really looks ombre. And I love that effect. And I love that mistletoe ball. So fun. All right. Next is another Jingle Ball exclusive. This is by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Oh, that one is on. Sorry, let me go back. This is on a 28 count even weave that is called Tailgating, and that is by Fangirl Fibers. It was part of their Fiber of the Month Club. Fabric of the Month Club, excuse me. And it's like a tan, but has little hints of green. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, that's great right there. Little pops of green, and so that's kind of throughout the fabric. Okay, so next, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is Silvery Moon Lugana, and this is a Coulter and Clementine. Frosted Pumpkin had this cute little story about how Clementine was getting ready for the ball and waiting for Coulter to pick her up. They're just the cutest little things. I love them. So there we go. All right. And last but not least, this was a start when I went on vacation for Christmas. Whenever I fly out of town, I always start a new project at the airport. And on this one, I was able to start it at the airport when I left, and I finished it on the plane home. It was perfect. This is winter. I think it's Invierno, but by Satsuma Street, which means winter. Just this 9-block grid with all these great motifs celebrating winter. The colors are spectacular. This is on a 32 count Opalescent Lugana, just white. I loved the colors for this one. All right, so that makes 15 finishes for me for the year of 2022. I had lots and lots of starts. There are some that are really close and that I will be working on and finishing in 2023. But I feel like 15 finishes is a pretty successful year, especially with as big as some of them were. Thank you so much for watching. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, stitch. Take care, everyone. Bye.